Welcome to the Purity Pulse podcast, your go-to podcast for the natural health industry and everything Purity Life. I'm Julie.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're going to go through our weekly check-in. We're going to have Patrick Higgins joining us. And we're going to do our segment to What's New to Purity Life.
That's right.
So, Erin, tell me what's happening in your life this week.
I feel like I'm mid-move right now with this new role.
Yes.
I'm switching offices. And
Right.
I've been in the office I've been for a while. And I mean, part of it is my own personal nature and part of it is being in marketing, but I've accumulated a lot of stuff. So
That's when we realize that drawers are full, right?
Yeah, right? I'm like going through it. It's like a history lesson of all of the different things that we've done at Purity Life. It's great. I mean, there's nothing like moving offices to really have a good clean out.
Yeah.
But
It takes longer than
I've
you
been
think,
there for a while.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like when you move, from a house to another, but then you go through one section of the house, and then in your head when you start, you're like, oh, I'm just going to put all of that in, in those boxes, and well, once we're there, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No. You just sit there and you're like, oh yeah, that message. Oh yeah, that picture.
Remember
that
when we did
reminds me of this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So did you plan for, instead of 2 days of move, it's become like a full week?
Oh, it's going to be a transition, that's for sure.
Well, new decoration.
Well, this is the thing too, right? So now I'm like, okay, perfect. I've got fresh surroundings, going to bring in some plants. So there's things that I've been wanting to do with my area for a long time. So now I get to start fresh.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So that's where we're going to see more plants.
More plants. You get to play around with the lighting and whatnot. So yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice.
That's a good week.
Yeah.
I see that as creation and innovation.
Yes, and cleaning.
Cool. Yeah, and cleaning. Yeah.
Well, reset.
Reset.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you? You're busy too, eh?
Yeah, well, we're just heading to a strategic meeting with the change with marketing, and also we like to sit, as you know, as a group to sort of regroup like every quarter to see what's, we're going to be focusing on.
So this is your direct
strategic,
team?
Yes, direct team, sales, marketing, and category management. So we're going to look into what's coming, what's planning for Purity, CHFA. We're, ahead of time for September, but as you know,
I'm not at this meeting. This is the first in a long time that I won't be involved in.
I know. And it's full force into that meetings to come. So very exciting. It's always great.
Yes.
Lots of work, as you know.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening for the week for now. But
awesome. Busy.
Week. Yeah. So let's head now on to our interview with Patrick
Higgins. That's right.
Well, thank you for joining us, Patrick, today. We're very lucky to have you because you travel a lot and very busy man. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So for people who are listening or watching, you're known in the industry, but we always like to know where it all started. Like, How did you fall into the health industry?
Yeah, it was 1994, and I was lucky enough to fall into the industry. And basically what happened is I wanted to start my own business. I was kind of unemployable and decided, the only chance I had at any sort of success was to do something on my own. And just by mystical happenstance, I happened to be with my good friend whose brother had opened up a supplement shop.
Right.
And we had stopped in there on our way downtown, and I looked at these products, and I was into fitness at the time, and I didn't even know this existed. I thought you just bought your vitamins at Shoppers Drug Mart.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so I fell in love with it, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I started out my career as planning to open a retail store, and I spent about 6 months kind of building my business plan and quickly realized there was more opportunity on the supply side of the business.
Right.
Because back then there wasn't a lot of bilingual products, not a lot of supplements, especially met regulatory requirements. So for me, I saw the opportunity there, and then I just kind of got into it, and it was wild. Like it was, by the grace of so many good people, I was able to find some success. But I would literally, my first sales meeting was with a drug chain called Big V. And I
Big V.
I
Big
went
V.
in.
Oh,
do you remember
man.
those guys?
That takes me back.
Not me. Not because of age, but Quebecer. I didn't. Yeah.
I went into Big V,
Big V.
with a hard shell brown briefcase and an Alive magazine inside and nothing else. And I literally laid the Alive magazine out in front of the buyer, and only because I didn't know better.
Right.
And we just went page by page, and I said, well, do you like this product? And she said, well, that looks pretty good. So I dog-ear that page and go to the next thing. Oh, no, I don't like that. And, oh, that looks pretty good. And I dog-ear that. And then I go back to my apartment and start working the phones and said, hey, I've got a customer. I'd like to distribute your product. So I started in the business as a distributor.
Oh, wow.
And that quickly got away from me because I had no money.
Right.
So I was literally buying the proverbial, buying and selling out of my car. That's what I was doing.
Oh, my
I was
goodness.
picking up products. And
So you went in there, you didn't even know what products you were pitching. You were just pitching whatever they wanted to buy.
whatever they wanted. Then my job was to get those brands to sell to me.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
And I did that. And then I remember I got on the radar at Shoppers Drug Mart selling a product, traditional medicinals, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yes, absolutely.
And I've been buying about $1,000 to $1,500 a week of traditional medicinals and driving around and selling it.
Who's that guy?
And and then Shoppers said, "Hey, we want to list your product." And I said, "Okay, great." And they gave me an $80,000 purchase order. So
I got some work I got to do back here.
So I sent my corresponding purchase order to traditional medicinals, and the phone quickly rang, and they're like, "Hey, this is a little above your credit limit."
Yeah.
They said, "I got an idea. Why don't you be a broker? Why don't you? We'll sell to Shoppers Drug Mart, and we'll pay you a commission." And that's how it kind of all started.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is. I didn't know that story.
What was the
about
time frame between when you blindly went in with your magazine and
it was probably between 94 and by 95. I think by 95 I was actually working for traditional medicinals, because that was the other thing that happened. The crazy thing is when we started doing well with traditional medicinals, and all of a sudden traditional medicinals wanted to hire somebody to manage Canada.
Right.
And I remember Steve Terry calling me up and saying, "Hey, if you happen to know of anybody, we're looking for somebody." And I said, "Okay, well, I don't really know anybody because I'm brand new in the industry."
Right.
Yeah.
But just out of curiosity, what does it pay in case someone asks? And he said, "Well, it's be about $100,000 a year US."
I know a guy.
I was like,
I know a guy.
I hung up the phone. I thought, I've never seen more than $40,000 a year. So I was like, this is crazy, you know? So I called him back about an hour later and said, "Hey, how about,
I have an idea.
about me?"
About me.
And he's like, "Well, what are you talking
really
about? You got this business. You don't need us."
yeah.
I'm like, "No, you don't understand. You are my business."
Yeah.
And then, and that was great. And then because they couldn't hire an employee in Canada because of tax regulations, they hired me as a contractor. So then within a year, I'd added another brand. And then I became, what I guess is known as a brand manager or country manager. And I had multiple clients going. And then that kind of morphed into the bigger brokerage company.
So how long after that you started the Higgins Cone then?
Yeah, so that was 1994. It all started. Higgins Cone started in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when John and I got together.
Yeah. And did you know John before, or you just stumbled across and met?
Yeah, John worked for ID Foods. He was a distributor, and we were doing some work with him with traditional medicinals, for sure, Balance Bar, which was another one of my brands. And it was just at that time where the industry was going. I understood the natural channel very well. I was very plugged in.
Yeah.
I understood drug just by chance. That's where I kind of gravitated to driving around, IGA or IDAs and Guardians and Shoppers Drug Mart back then, when you could actually sell to them. Yeah. But I didn't know grocery, and that was when grocery was really starting to come alive. So Loblaws and others, and I needed that experience. And John and I decided it would be a good fit, and that's been probably the thing I'm most proud of, is managing a partnership all of these years.
Right.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, the business aside, I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish together and repeat together.
Yeah. What does that look like between the two of you?
Yeah.
Like
It's we're very different for sure, and it certainly took a while to find our groove, but once we found it, it's been really smooth. And I think the trick is, you find things that you're each good at,
Yeah.
and you focus on those, and don't try
And
and
you don't trust
play
the
in
other
my
person.
don't,
exactly.
Yeah, don't step on each other's toes. Like
Yeah.
just trust each other to do what
Yeah.
you're each good at, and it's kind of worked well for us.
So what's your strength compared to John and vice versa?
Well, John's a customer guy for
Yeah.
sure. So John's really good
Yeah.
in front of people. I'm horrible in sales calls. They don't let me go to sales calls anymore.
It's funny. I find you very good with people, so that's
Yeah,
that's
I'm not great at selling, and
Yeah.
I'm not good at managing relationships that
Yeah.
don't feel natural to me. So
Right.
just showing up at a buyer's category
yeah.
manager's office and talking
Yeah.
I'm just, it's not my skill
That's
set.
John.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm good at kind of the bigger picture stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of on the business, and John's kind of in the
The
business. I
vision.
guess would
Yeah.
be
The vision of
a way to
bringing-
describe it.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you guys had major rift, or you thought like this might just not be the way to go?
Early on, I'd say, like very, very early on,
Yeah.
when we were trying to find our place,
Yeah.
and we were both just, kind of at each other,
bet.
and
Two entrepreneurial spirits.
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
a difficult partnership to make.
But since I mean, after year one, I'd say not at all.
Yeah.
Like there was no hesitation to start
Yeah.
a business together again. We invest in brands. We do all of our investments together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done one on our own.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I would never have started Propel without him, and
Yeah.
he would never have started Propel without me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's a long-standing marriage.
yeah, and our families are friends, and
Yeah.
watched his kids grow up. I've been to the weddings. We've
Yeah.
got grandkids now, and
Yeah.
we go on vacations that aren't not work related, just
Yeah.
with our wives, and we
That's-
travel all over the world together.
Genuinely enjoy each other's
Absolutely,
company and whatnot.
absolutely, yeah.
That's nice.
So you went from Higgins Cones, as the people listening knows, and then you took some time off selling, and then you started Propel. So talk to us about the the coming out, and then we want to start something else.
Yeah, sure.
There's more.
Yep. So we Acosta had bought our business in 2015. So they had been trying to buy it for about 3 years. Well, when I say trying, they talked to us a few times and made one offer.
Yeah.
We weren't ready to sell. And then in 2015, it kind of made sense. So we sold the business, moved our entire team over.
Yeah.
And, it was great. We had, they kind of left us alone, and we ran the NSS division for Canada.
Yeah.
But then Acosta ran into some challenges. There was a bankruptcy. They went through a bunch of CEOs and presidents, and it became challenging for our business unit. And
Yeah.
I think mainly John and I were just at that point in our careers where that's not the note we wanted to end on.
Yeah.
We wanted to end on a positive note, and we didn't feel like that was a good ending for us.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we waited until we were able to. We had obviously non-competes tied into the asset purchase agreement.
Yep.
As soon as those were up, we started Propel, and,
Yeah.
and we didn't really know what to expect. We knew it would be okay,
Yeah.
but it really kind of feels like we got shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Like within
Yeah.
8 months,
Yeah.
we were the same size we were when we sold the business.
Yeah.
And now we're much bigger, and it's just it's kind of taken on a whole life of its own, and
Yeah.
it's interesting. Like it's we spent 13 years building up Higgins Cohen to sell,
Yeah.
and it really didn't hit its stride until that kind of 12th or 13th year.
At the end, yeah.
And then we were at Acosta, where a lot of our responsibilities were taken away from us.
Right.
I didn't have to think strategically anymore.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, yeah.
we were just kind of running this division. They made all the decisions.
Right.
And then
It must have been difficult.
yeah, that was fairly difficult. I
Yeah.
think it was
enjoy a part of it,
definitely
to
different. Yeah.
Step back a little bit and have some enjoying time on your own personal time. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, like everything, when they're making good decisions, and it's
It's
great.
good
you
for
know?
everybody. Yeah.
But when you
Yeah.
don't agree with it, it's a little, it's tough for sure. But
Yeah.
we
You're very successful. I mean, I remember when we saw the announcement for Propel, and I mean, on LinkedIn, keep adding brands. It was
the
fast.
brand intake
The
was-
brands that you brought in so quickly. So it really feels like all your learnings from the first time, and then also people in the industry, brands knew you
Yeah.
and knew John and yourself and the work that you've been doing to help them and
Yeah,
help
sure.
those brands. So it's pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, I
how
think
fast
it was
the
kind of a
success-
perfect storm.
Yeah.
We had the playbook. Obviously, we knew exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of brands. It was just coming out of COVID, so a lot of brands hadn't been really doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think everyone
On
was
pause.
kind of interested. Okay, well, and then there's this new company, And, for a lot of brands, getting into a bigger brokerage is tough. You know, like the smaller brands tend to stay with smaller brokerages. They probably would love to be with, one of the larger brokerages, but they can't. And I think a lot of people saw this as a chance to get in kind of ground floor. And that's what we did. And there were some challenges with that for us too, because, we didn't know where the business was going. So we said yes to a lot of people that we probably should have said no to. And then all of a sudden you end up with a lot of small brands, and then it was also in an environment where there were just a lot of brands. I mean, everybody and their brother was starting a food brand.
God. I know.
And now you're seeing a shakeout in that, but at the time they were all kind of coming fast and furious, and they all needed brokers.
Everybody during COVID was in their kitchen doing something, right? Creating a brand, and then everybody came out. Exactly. And then the reality come of, we forgot forecasting, and I can't produce that much stuff, but you listed me in everywhere. So what would you say is there a change in the culture that you have now with your team that is different than what you had with Higgins Cone?
I think the funny thing about Higgins Cone is we had this amazing culture that we didn't even know we had.
Right.
And we didn't even really put a label on it or understand that was the secret to our success. There was just something there.
Yeah.
And then when we got to Acosta, you started to realize, oh wow, there was definitely something there, and it's kind of changing
shifting,
now, and good, bad, it's
put
different,
their collars,
right?
They put their collars on it.
And then so now with Propel, we really see it. We're purposefully focusing on culture and people. I mean, at the end of the day, brokers are in the people business. That's why people hire us. That people are our product. So we put a lot of energy into that, and that to us is everything. That's our North Star, is to make sure we have a high performing team. We're not always going to be perfect, but we try to be, and we try to make sure our team is challenged and our team is engaged and happy.
Are there any specific ways or things that you do to kind of incubate that?
Yeah, lots of things for sure. So I think a lot of it starts with hiring. Yeah. So it's our when you're looking at a candidate, are they a cultural? People say, are you going to fit in? Well, we actually don't want people to fit in. We want people to add to the culture. So are you a cultural add to the business? That's a big thing.
Okay, yeah.
Internally, we have a culture club that's a group of people in the organization that put together all of our events, and they also advocate for policy. So they're the reason we have volunteer hours off, and we offer half-day birthdays off, and things like that that they've presented to us, and we've the management said, that's a great idea. So we really try and give them a voice, and we like to have fun. That's for sure. So our people definitely, it's tough to be a broker on the best of days.
Yes.
It's really tough to work for Propel. There is a lot of stuff happening, and there is a very high expectation on all of our people.
Yeah.
So the people that are successful in our company are very good.
And it has changed. Like for us at Purity, we call it, elevating excellence. And it's really like where you were a couple of years ago was here, but now we're here, and you need to keep. And I think the industry really push on that too, because it has changed significantly, right? From going to a health food store and just like coming with your magazine and say, hey, do you want that product?
That's
it's way more sophisticated now, right? And you guys have fabulous systems that you use, and that makes you at another level, I think, of service, right? So.
Absolutely, and a lot of similarities between Propel and Purity, and that's not by accident. That's that's by design. We've worked very closely with you guys over many years, and I'm not ashamed to say we've stolen some stuff from you. We've stolen some ideas, and I see things, and I'm a student, and I love to learn and see what people are doing, and I mean, right down to our BI system we got from you guys. But no, just in the way you guys manage your people and your teams, we pay attention. So
that's smart. I mean, it's how we grow, right? And you look at the industry, and you can take the best and keep going. And we do the same, with you guys. We also look and making it, better. But if we shift a little bit the conversation here and we look at the market, and I mean, you've been around a bit too. What would be for you right now, looking even just before COVID and to now in the products that you sell, what would you say that is like the biggest change, or wow, like you're even thinking back, there's many things, but what would you say that is the biggest change in the way to do business from before?
Oh, there's so many answers to that question. I mean, one is what we just touched upon, is the number of brands in the space. I mean, it gets very, very difficult to kind of cut through the clutter. And if you can imagine like how retailers must feel when they've got 8 feet of finite space for whatever category you're talking about, and they've got all of these brands that couldn't possibly fit on the shelf. And that inherently is the challenge with all of these brands, and why there's a shakeout now is because you can't. They all can't be successful because there's just not enough room for them all. And it's just the reality. And so that's certainly a challenge for us managing through. Fads and trends have always been a challenge to manage through, being able to spot them, label them, and deal with them. Like what, like who would have believed, and I went through low carb. Like Atkins was kind of the driving force of our company.
Years.
That started Higgins Cohen, and they're still a client 25 years later. But we're pretty good at understanding fads. I didn't think keto was going to get that big and blow up that fast.
That's
that was ridiculous.
That is a big one, right?
So you think of all the brands that fell by the wayside there.
It's hard. Well, it's hard for a distributor, but for a broker as well, because you have to manage and help those brands to succeed. But then when that trend is like, they have to sort of be open to listen to you on, hey guys, maybe make the keto disappear and just say that you're something else as a bar, because that's the change. But it's all that management to help them in many ways. So
for sure. Atkins, we sold the first Atkins bar in Canada, and Purity Life was very much involved back then.
Yes, we've done,
And we went from 0 to $47 million in 1 year, and from 47 to $9 million in the next year.
In the next year.
Ouch. So that was ride the wave when it's there, right? It's absolutely that.
And I was running that business for Canada, and that taught me so much. That was like an MBA in 18 months.
Exactly. Here's your education right there. Absolutely. And if you look at right now what you see in trends, and what would you say, you have a certain portfolio, but what would you see that is like the biggest trend that you see right now?
Oh, I mean, there are, I think the pendulum has kind of swung back to the middle of just basic clean ingredients, clean products, whole foods. I think plant-based, again, plant-based is kind of like gluten-free. It got big, but then the products got messy because everyone was scrambling to get these products to the market. And then it got to the point where unless you were celiac, you probably weren't eating gluten-free products because they were pretty nasty.
Yes, exactly. Cardboard taste kind of.
Plant-based is the same thing. Unless you're vegetarian, a lot of those products, like we wouldn't consume them in our home. Like, we just wouldn't eat them, even if we wanted to. So I think that's certainly a trend. And I think, like for everybody, and we talk to our clients about this all the time, it's just getting back to basics, focusing on the core. I was to say that, I think that's where so many people go wrong in this industry, is they chase innovation, they chase fads, they chase what's new.
Extremes,
and the core, the core is there. Like, you think of natural HABA. Like back in the day, I mean, that's close to your heart. That was a big core category that got very confused and went in a lot of different directions. And if you think about all of those big brands that owned that core, they're not even relevant anymore, which is sad. And you think they could have been. But it's so true what you say with the we're talking about performance and prevention, and I think that definitely COVID has pushed that. A lot of people have realized that, hey, I need to take ownership of my health. So what's the basic? Well, first of all, what you put in your plate first, whole foods, which is not rocket science. Put real food, and then have the base of your house, and not going into those pigeonhole extreme of a certain type of diet, but kind of select what's good for you as an individual. That's right.
So we definitely see that. So that
that's what consumers are saying now too. They don't want to be on diets anymore. They want to eat well, but they don't want to. They want to call it a diet.
No, exactly.
That's abundantly
being
clear.
a box and sad.
Sad
reality.
Yeah, for sure.
What sorts of, I mean, you've obviously seen many brands come and go, and you're talking to a lot of different brands. Any kind of just across the board key factors you think that are important for the success of those brands that you always kind of hand out to them?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, first of all, back to the 4 Ps, you know, the basics in marketing: product placement, price, promotion. And that's, you know, focusing on that is, you know, for some challenging, and they kind of lose sight of that. And that really is the most important thing: a great product at a decent price, good distribution, and proper promotion. You know? And that to me is the key. Again, focusing on the core, I can't stress that enough. That's where I see so many companies go wrong, is they have this core business that they lose sight of because they're chasing innovation.
A shiny object.
And really, you know, innovation's great, but you've got to keep the core alive. And that's where the focus should be. And also people focusing on doors instead of velocities. And I think velocities that's
so true.
That's the only thing we talk about now at Propel is velocities. We want to compare it across categories, across brands, because there's no point in having doors if the velocities aren't there, and you really have to protect that.
Yeah. Catching dust on bottles is not good for anybody, right?
That's right.
And then you spread your focus, and then you can't give the support because you're so spread thin, and then you don't get that volume. So it's again, even in that, it's going back to the basics, right? Just the basics. But people are looking always for that shiny object, and that it's good to have, you know, new trends and new products, but if the base of your house is not solid, then any, you know, decoration that you put on top won't, you know, make it work, right? So
it's a discipline, right? It's you know, because it's easy to go after. It's same for us and you guys with brands. You get a new brand that you're super excited about. Well, you can't just everyone move to that. You got to focus on your core business.
And it's that relationship too, right? You establish relationship with brands that you've had for so many years. And it's not just to say, oh, you're doing well, so, you know.
You can't shove them aside.
No, exactly. You're doing well, so it's all good.
Right.
It's like with employees, right? It's not because an employee will do well that you say, okay, you're doing well, so you don't need my support or my coaching anymore.
That's right.
So it needs to be that. So that's, that well said. Yeah.
Great. Do you want to jump into some rapid fire questions?
Yes, let's start.
Baby.
Here we go.
I was worried about this.
You never know. Sometimes we pull an extra one.
I'm ready.
This could be a surprise. What's your non-negotiable healthy habit?
Exercise.
Yeah.
I'd say
What does that look like?
For me, it's zone 2 cardio every day.
Yeah.
And then we do weight training. We've kind of mastered the weight training. I mean, I know you have too. You've made it very social. We created this space in our home, and we have a group of people that come and work out in it.
Really?
3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's become a ritual, and it's
fun.
It's really fun.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we do circuit training. We did it last night. I'm going away for a few days, but we'll do it again on the weekends. I'm back. So
do you use those people
to
like
with Corey when I'm away? People will come and work out.
That's awesome.
Are you kind of like challenging each other then? Does it get a bit competitive or
not really competitive, no, but we take turns kind of posting the workout. So it's we do, you know, kind of 8 exercises, 4 rounds.
Nice.
You know, and it's like it's a quick 34-minute workout, but it's high intensity, and we work the assault bike in there and a few other things.
Some assault bike sweating. That's
it's just one. It's been so great, like to have this kind of social aspect, and it makes fitness fun.
It makes it a huge difference. That's why we do CrossFit, just because of that aspect with being with, we call it suffering with others. And then it's sort of that commitment because you know that your buddies are going to show up, and so you need to be there.
That's right.
So the days that, you know, you don't necessarily feel that you want to go work out, then, you know, you're going to see your buddies and people will have that connection. So that's good. Have you done that for many years, or you've implemented that?
It started, I don't know if you guys know Mark Seagos from Thirsty Buddha, but him and I started about a year and a half ago. And then people have just kind of rotated in, and people actually do just come once sometimes. Just to check it out. You know, Mike Lyons drove from Keswick. You know, like it's an hour and a half drive. He came just to work out one day. You know, so that's not sustainable, obviously, but it was fun. And so now it's become
a drop-in.
It's a bit of a drop-in. We send a text out, and whoever shows up shows up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, next time we'll have to do the podcast down there.
Yeah.
What was your first natural product that you used? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was probably traditional. Well, probably traditional medicinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, 99 tea.
Yeah.
I fell in love with that product.
Yeah.
One that I've just discovered is Celestial Seasonings Bengal Spice. I don't know if
Yes.
That's another classic.
It's so good.
I can't. Where's that been all my life? I've seen it on the shelf for 30 years. I've never actually bought a box. Now I think we're buying like 6 at a time on Amazon, and they're showing up every couple of weeks. And we're two tea bags in every cup now.
That's awesome.
It's a good one.
Oh no, we're completely addicted.
It's a good
one.
one.
That is my favorite product.
So are you more of a tea or a coffee person?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
One coffee in the morning, and then we always have a tea.
Or just
Americano.
Okay. Americano. Okay.
And then
good.
we have tea at night.
Yeah. Slow
See,
down.
Patrick's more my style. A little less yours.
I do
You drink
coffee.
coffee at
You're
night?
more, yeah.
I do.
At all times.
I do tea though. I do organic tradition tea, but if I'm away traveling, I will still have a coffee.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me to sleep. I just love the taste of coffee so much that I can have it at any time. Yeah, it's good. Good.
What's your go-to stress management system?
Oh, well, I've tried meditating. I'm not very good at it. But what we've discovered, I think we've been at it for a couple of months now. Every Monday night, we go to this candlelit yin yoga class.
Oh, yeah. I've
It's
done that once.
it's amazing.
Do you fall asleep?
I have.
I do. Yes.
Nodded off.
No, but yeah.
Invariably, every single week, somebody falls asleep.
Right.
You hear somebody snoring.
Yeah.
But it's kind of not hard work yoga, and I've done that too, the power yoga.
Yeah.
But this is kind of deep stretches for 3 minutes at a time,
Right.
and then you move to a different, and it's amazing.
A lot of
And it's hot.
focus.
Yeah.
And you come out of that feeling, and we do it every
Amazing.
Monday night, and it's just been wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing routine. We used to do hot yoga before COVID. They closed down in Guelph, and once a week they had that lady that came with a harp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Oh my God. It was it was hot yoga, and there was candles, and she was playing.
Yeah.
It was just like
Nice.
heaven. Yeah. Fell asleep many times though.
Yeah.
As soon as I turn off and I zip it, it's like
Yeah.
we're gone. But yeah, you had the people, a little bit of that snoring in the background, but it was fabulous. Yeah, it's a good one, definitely. What would be the most adventurous thing that you've done, you would say?
I don't even know if I can talk about it.
Yes, I was saying the one you can't share with us.
I mean, I've been to a Halloween party at the Playboy Mansion. That was pretty adventurous.
Really?
Halloween party
Oh
at
my
the
God,
Playboy
wow.
Mansion?
Yeah.
Lots of bunnies around.
How did that even happen?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it happened.
I got there.
I think probably the thing I've done recently that I thought I would never do is I did a sound meditation.
Talk to us about that. What is...
with some other substances involved.
No, it's very in right now.
Yeah,
so,
and it was amazing.
Yeah?
It was life changing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I hear because I follow Danica Patrick.
Right.
And she's done some of those, and it's amazing, and that's exactly what she said, because you really get out there, and then there's things in your brain that when you come back, it's life changing because you've seen things.
Yeah, you go pretty deep.
Yeah.
Ours was about 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Where did you? Can you say
in New York?
In New York,
yeah. And Alexandre, I can't remember his last name. He's pretty famous though on YouTube, but he's friends. He's done TED Talks and stuff, and friends of ours set it up, and there was kind of people from all over the U.S. came in, and it was only 12 of us, but it was
control because you're 12.
Just,
of course.
Like a whole weekend, but it was all kind of anchored around this meditation. So, and he's a performer, like he's so he's playing the instruments, and all of a sudden I remember probably on hour 6 I finally kind of looked up and paid attention to him, because for the most part you're just on your back and your eyes closed and you're just kind of going with
traveling.
And then all of a sudden I kind of flipped over and looked at him and I was like, whoa, it was unbelievable, all the things he had going. He plays a didgeridoo, and he plays sound boxes and the pans, and then they come around and they come over your body with these vibrational instruments, and you literally just feel it kind of coursing down your body. It's wow, it's amazing. Cool. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm very intrigued. So we'll talk more about that.
Okay, good.
Well, do you have another one, or are we? Yes.
Oh, well, we could do the classic. If you could have dinner with anyone.
Oh yeah, that's
who would
anyone.
Be?
Yeah.
Anyone at all?
Anyone.
Oh boy. Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Dead or alive.
I've always been a closet parrot head. So Jimmy Buffett.
I'm
so sad that he's dead.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to spend time with him and talk about his
Play
life.
some
He's
music.
got the most interesting life.
Jam with him a little bit.
Maybe do that.
Yeah. We always ask to that's a good one that is just coming. If you were not in this industry and you can do any job, like anything else, what would that be?
It'd be in the music industry for sure. Probably not performing, because I don't have that talent level, but in the industry, the record business or concert promoting or something.
Yeah, I can see you definitely traveling and with a band and then organizing everything in the back. And
we have a lot of fun in our business, as you guys know.
Oh yes, absolutely.
There's not too many of my friends in other industries that have anywhere near the kind of fun we have, except the people I know in the music business. They have fun.
No, they do. They absolutely have fun. You see that through the years and all the bands that have been there around, and they definitely look that they have that fun. So awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time with us. It's great to hear your story and all the start. I mean, we know people, but we don't know the depth and where it started. So I'll always remember your Alive magazine and
a big V.
Only because I didn't know better.
Well, it's very creative. Kudos to you, right? Because you not only created like a brokerage company twice, but you started somewhere. I mean, like taking your magazine and going there and creating a business and going back home and say, oh, I need the brands now. Let's pick up the phone. So that's fantastic.
I was scrappy for sure. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we're into New to Purity Life.
That's right.
And today we have a great new sun care protection collection, I would say, called Sun Bum.
Sun Bum.
Yes. Very tricky word.
Super cute.
Super cute. That's what is really fun about the brand. The look is very cool and kind of relaxed, beachy kind of.
They have kind of a wood grain look on a lot of their packaging and this monkey. And they're really all about, I mean, it's beach bum, right? That's their whole vibe is very surf and on the beach. And,
where you have lots of products on shelf that are more, I would say, conventional in the look. You have the
formal even.
Yeah, exactly. Like the little palm trees or like that Hawaiian kind of look. Yeah. Where they really bring that fun look. Yeah. And so one that I really love is their stick. Even though it's said for kids, Protection 50, I really like that option because when you do some sports or you're on the go, and it smells like banana candy.
Yeah.
Yes. And for those who are listening, it's that bright yellow, very like a small stick, because sometimes the sticks are more round, but this one is more as an oval shape. And it's not like a creamy, it's more of it almost looks like
even clear, eh?
Yeah, it is a clear kind of gel. And when you apply it on your skin, you will see it really penetrates well. And it's really easy to absorb too. So even like for kids,
that's nice, and it's not greasy at all.
It's not
you
greasy.
You would think because of the texture, but it's not.
Yeah, it looks like that when you open it, but really, that's my go-to. I love it.
That's nice,
and I like even for not just ladies, but people who are looking for their wrinkles around the lips because the sun is pretty harsh on that. Yeah, even around the eye area, I really like it because it's easy to apply as well, and it penetrates really well.
I always like the sticks for the kids, especially around the eye or in the face too. It's just so much easier to apply. That's the kind of thing often that I'll send with them to school too, because the creams and sometimes it's just too much for them. So this is just a quick, easy way for them to use it as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't do for the body. That'll take a long time. But just joking side apart. But it's great for the face. They also have their spray 50 again. It's really easy to apply. And again, it's not something that will really be sticky. It's quick. So that's really one of the, I would say, the good benefit of that brand is you don't have to rub and rub and rub. It's easy to apply, and the scent is amazing. So kudos to them. And on your shelf, it's going to look pretty cool too. You can do a great big display with some...
this could be a neat display.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thinking like surfboard.
That's what exactly I was thinking, like the big yellow surfboard. And so, and sun care is definitely not that it's going away, but it's really a big trend too, especially when we think again about what's trendy, like prevention. Yeah. So under that umbrella of prevention, people are looking to reduce the potential of wrinkles. Yeah. So people put skin like sun care protection, and you don't need to go on the beach to think about that. It's all year long.
Well, and that's funny because this company in particular they're super big on sun safety, so much that they say we don't even care if you guys use our sunscreen, just make sure you're using something.
Absolutely. So
prevention,
note taken, prevention with Sun Bum. Thank you for watching or listening this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and send us your feedback at marketing@puritylife.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at PurityLifeLProductLP, or myself at JD_girlpower.
Or you can check me out at Erin G. Macklin. And come back next week. We're going to have an interview with Dr. Karen Reed.
Yes.
And she is the Director of Research at the National Institute of Integrative Medicine. And she's done a bunch of research on kyolic.
Yes. New stuff for you guys.
Excellent.